Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, Ritesh Prabhu, Kun Prabhuji, all the devotees for your association this Saturday morning. Let's start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, so continue with our prayer. Shri Vrinda Devi Ashtakam, glorifying the mercy of Srimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Maharani, seeking her mercy with the help of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is one of our leading acharyas in Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, acharya of both Tattva and Rasa. Okay, so let's continue here. Gangeya Champeya Tadidvinindi Rochi Pravaha Snapitatma Vrinde Bandhuka Bandhu Diti Devya Vaso Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam बिम्बाधरोदीत्वरमन्दहास्य नासाग्रमुक्तादितिदीपितास्य विचित्ररत्नाभरणश्रियाद्ये वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् समस्तवैकुण्ठशिरोमणौ श्रीकृष्णस्य वृन्दावनधान्यधाम्नि दत्ताधिकारे वृषभानुपुत्र्य वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् त्वदाज्ञया पल्लवपुष्पभृङ्ग मृगादिभिर्माधवकेलिकुञ्जा मध्वादिभिर्भान्ति विभूषमाण वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् त्वदीयदूत्येन निकुञ्जयूनोर् अत्युत्कयोकेलिविलाससिद्धिः त्वत्सौभगं केन निरुच्यतां तद् वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् रासाभिलाषो वसतिश्च वृन्दा वने त्वदीशाङ्घ्रिसरोजसेवा लभ्या च पुंसां कृपया तवैव वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् त्वं कीर्त्यसे सात्वततन्त्रविद्भिर्लीलाभिधाना किल कृष्णशक्तिः तवैव मूर्तिस्तुलसीन्द्रलोके वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्ष्यै क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् वृन्दाष्टकं यः शृणुयात् पठेद्वा वृन्दावनाधीशपदाब्जभृङ्ग स प्राप्य वृन्दावननित्यवासं तत्प्रेमसेवां लभते कृतार्थः वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री वृंदा देवी अष्टकम की जय. शीला विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Anyone who would like to read the translation?
Prabhuji, can I read, please?
Yes, Ritesh Prabhu, please. Go ahead, Prabhu, please.
Oh, I got muted, Prabhuji. You are
Okay.
bathed by streams of splendor that rebuke gold, lightning, and the champak flower. Your splendid garments are friends of the banduka flower. O Vrinda, bow to your lotus feet. Your face is splendid with pearl decorating the tip of your nose and a wonderful gentle smile on your bimba fruit lips. You are decorated with wonderful jewel ornaments. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. Vrishpanu's daughter Radha made you guardian of Krishna's opulent and auspicious abode of Vrindavan, the crest jewel of Vaikuntha planets. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. By your order of the groves, by the order the groves where Madhav enjoys pastimes are splendidly decorated with blossoming flowers, bumblebees, deer, honey, and other things. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. Because you become their messenger, the, the eager and youthful divine couple enjoyed the perfection of transcendent pastimes in the forest. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. By your mercy, the people attain residence of Vrindavan, the desire to serve your master's lotus feet, and the desire to assist the rasa dance. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. They who are learned in the Satvata Tantra glorify you. You are Krishna's pastime potency. The tulsi plant in your form is the world of man. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. O merciful one, they who have no devotion and they whom millions of offenses have thrown into the waves of lust and other vices take shelter of you. O Vrinda, I bow to your lotus feet. A person who is like a bumblebee at the lotus feet of Vrindavan's king and queen and who reads or hears this Vrindashtka will eternally reside in Vrindavan and attain loving service to the divine couple. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ritesh Prabhu. Very nice. Yeah, so Vrinda Devi is one of the five guardians, like we were discussing when I was talking about Giriraj Govardhan a couple of weeks ago. Vrinda Devi is one of the five guardians of the Dham. Right? And we talk about the Mai, VGG. Mai is the Mahadev, Gopeshwar Mahadev, Kundeshwar Mahadev. Mahadev comes in different ways, and Dham is there all over. Like that, Vrinda, the Yamuna Devi, and then Vrinda Devi, and our Guru Parampara and Giriraj Govardhan, all of them are providers of pure devotional service. They bestow pure devotional service. If we sincerely approach any of them for bhakti, then provide they provide their mercy. So Vrinda Devi, of course, as we see, uh, chapter 50 we are on. So like I said, these are five uh, special special exalted devotees of the Lord who provide pure devotional service. And Prabhupada Leelamrit also, as we were reading yesterday, Prabhupada is saying that, what can I do? I'm working with all these second class, third class people. So even the Malechas, people who are eating meat, who are degraded completely, lying in the Bowery in New York, and hippies and drug addicts, all of them were transformed. How? Just by taking shelter of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who is in the Guru Parampara. And Prabhupada taught them the process of devotional service, of chanting, rising early, chanting the Mahamantra, and worshipping Tulsi Maharani. Right? So all the devotional practices that Srila Prabhupada taught them. So with that, you see the power of her mercy, power of a pure spiritual master coming in the parampara, that by their mercy, so many thousands and thousands of people were transformed to the core of their hearts. Many of them were born in very low-grade families. While growing up, they had eaten meat or killed so many, animals, and taken and done so much of sinful life. But all of them were transformed if they were sincere and they followed the instructions like Prabhupada was teaching yesterday. So this chapter is titled The Lame Man and the Blind Man. Right? So like that, if we think ourselves, we all have deficiencies, we have diseases, we are like lame, blind, we have some problems in our life. But if we come together and take shelter of pure devotees, then together, like Prabhupada says, when we cooperate, and we follow the instructions, then we are able to make progress. So same thing Prabhupada was teaching yesterday, that when his disciples were saying that, oh, people are so fallen, people are leaving and going away even after taking shelter. Prabhupada is saying, yes, it's all by Krishna's mercy. Things are going on. I have taken the risk to come here in this age and sharing this. So like that, we are also lame, blind, but together, if we follow, if we are aligned with Srila Prabhupada, then if we cooperate with Prabhupada and with his instructions, then we can move forward, even though despite we have so many deficiencies. So yeah, so that is the power of mercy of Acharyas. So sincerity is what is needed. He said, if one is sincere, their disciples are saying, so it will take many generations for somebody to become pure. Prabhupada says, no, if somebody is sincere, it will take only one generation, and they can become pure. So okay, so let's continue here. So Prabhupada, okay, now talking about this pastime of Gajendra, the elephant, who is also being troubled by the crocodile. So Prabhupada is teaching again, like in this age, he was saying, how to make this story, which happened millions of years ago, accessible to everybody, right? So you can see how this, with the age, with the time, things deteriorate in this world. Like we said, we all have deteriorated. Similarly, things also deteriorate from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapar to Kali Yuga. So as things deteriorate, the power of spirituality is also becoming less and less in Kali Yuga, right? Because there are very less people who are inclined towards spirituality. And on the contrary, like the crocodile, the bad things are increasing day by day as the yugas have gone, right? So like that, Prabhupada is trying to say that it is very quickly he can give everything, but he has to meditate and give exactly how people would be able to relate to all these wonderful transcendental pastimes and stories from our scriptures. So he's taking special effort to do all these special Bhaktivedanta purports for all of us. So let's see what Prabhupada has to say on this particular pastime. In the fighting between the elephant and the crocodile, the difference was that although the elephant was extremely powerful, he was in a foreign place, in the water. During 1000 years of fighting, he could not get any food, and under the circumstances, his bodily strength diminished. And because his bodily strength diminished, his mind also became weak and his senses less powerful. The crocodile, however, being an animal of the water, had no difficulties. He was getting food and was therefore getting mental strength and sensual encouragement. Thus, while the elephant became reduced in strength, the crocodile became more and more powerful. Now, from this, we may take the lesson that in our fight with Maya, we should not be in a position in which our strength, enthusiasm, and senses will be unable to fight vigorously. Our Krishna consciousness movement has actually declared war against the illusory energy, in which all the living entities are rotting in a false understanding of civilization. The soldiers in this Krishna consciousness movement must always possess physical strength, enthusiasm, and sensual power. To keep themselves fit, they must therefore place themselves in a normal condition of life. What constitutes a normal condition will not be the same for everyone, Prabhupada continued, and therefore there are divisions of Varnashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Especially in this age, Kali Yuga, it is advised that no one takes sannyas. From this, we can understand that in this age, the sannyas ashram is forbidden because people are not strong. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us an example in taking sannyas at the age of 24 years. But even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya advised Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be extremely careful because he had taken sannyas at an early age. For preaching, we give young boys sannyas, but actually it is being experienced that they are not fit for sannyas. There is no harm, however, if one thinks that he is unfit for sannyas. If he is very much agitated sexually, he should go to the ashram where sex is allowed, namely the Grihastha ashram. That one has been found to be very weak in one place does not mean that he should stop fighting the crocodile of Maya. One should take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, and we shall see Gajendra do, and at the same time, one can be a Grihastha if he is satisfied with sexual indulgence. There is no need to give up the fight. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore recommended Sthane Sthitaha Shruti Gatam Tanuvan Manobhihi. One may stay in whichever ashram is suitable for him. It is not essential that one takes sannyas. If one is sexually agitated, he can enter the Grihastha ashram, but one must continue fighting. For one who is not in a transcendental position, to take sannyas artificially is not a very good credit. If sannyas is not suitable, one may enter the Grihastha ashram and fight Maya with great strength. But one should not give up the fighting and go away. From out of his direct confrontation with the forces of illusion, Srila Prabhupada presented his realizations. He had taken the case of Madhudvisha, refined it of its temporal aspects, and immortalized it into an instruction for persons everywhere. Prabhupada's job was to strengthen his disciples so they would not fall. Even if they took to the Grihastha ashram, the crocodile of sense gratification was still very strong, and illicit sex was the permanent disease of the Western people. They were raised on it and addicted to it, and their society promoted it. To change this mentality would be very difficult. Therefore, in addition to writing, Prabhupada would have to continue traveling and preaching to sustain his disciples and make them strong preachers. As Prabhupada had originally left his writing at the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan to preach in the West, so he could leave his writing retreat in Hawaii for preaching. In any case, he was prepared to continue writing wherever he went. All along, he had planned to stay in Hawaii for only for a month, not permanently. His disciples needed to see him for strength and inspiration, and as long as he had life and breath, this was his purpose. Prabhupada wanted to first visit his Los Angeles center, now a large, thriving community of devotees. He would see their new temple room with its marble arches and gallery of gorgeous transcendental paintings, and observe the opulent worship of the deities Shri Shri Rukmani Dwarkadhish. He would see the latest technological applications of Krishna consciousness at Golden Avatar Recording Studios and at the FATE Museum, which utilized multimedia dioramas to depict the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. He would sit in his garden and hear Krishna book and walk on Venice Beach discussing scientific theories with Dr. Swarup Damodar. And of course, he would increase the already swelling waves of book distribution. One day in the car, he had said, "My books will be the law books for human society for the next 10,000 years." Hari bol. Then in Detroit, he would stay for a few days in mansion he had purchased over a year ago to see how the devotees were taking care of the fabulous gift Krishna had given them and to advise them on how to use it as a showpiece of Krishna consciousness. For himself, Prabhupada was not interested in living in a mansion, and constant traveling proved difficult regardless of where he stayed. The mansions, the opulence, the American money, and expertise were all for Krishna's pleasure. From Detroit, Prabhupada would go to Toronto, where a year ago he had encouraged the devotees and the Indian community to purchase a big church in the city. Now, in the recent months, they had actually purchased it, and they were awaiting Prabhupada's arrival. Yay. He would also travel to New Vrindavan, where for 2 years the devotees had been anxiously awaiting his return. They wanted him to sit on the they wanted him to sit on the grand new Vyasasan they had carved for him, to behold the deities of Sri Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra, and to grace the palace they were building for him. And they wanted to see him again with his dear disciple Kirtananda Swami. He would drink the milk of the new Vrindavan cows and teach about Varnashrama Dharma. He would praise their simple life and blast away at the follies of urbanized, industrialized civilization. For the 4th of July 1976, the bicentennial anniversary of the United States independence, Srila Prabhupada would be at the ISKCON temple in Washington, D.C., where he would hold kirtan at the monuments where millions of people, and on July 6th, before millions of people, and on July 6th in Washington, he would observe the 10th anniversary of the formation of ISKCON. Then he would go to New York for that city's first full-scale Rath Yatra. He would stay in the newly acquired ISKCON skyscraper, the 12-story building in Midtown Manhattan. Since Srila Prabhupada had sometimes said his greatest fear was that his disciples would fight with one another, causing serious splits in his movement. Therefore, he traveled, using his great influence to unite all elements. He had seen how even those to whom he had given great responsibility could again become victims of sense gratification. But he had also seen how his being with his disciples strengthened them. He was declaring humanity's dependence on God, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and making a forceful revolution against the prevailing decadence of the day. Although America, in her 200th anniversary, was abandoning her God consciousness, Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON was fresh and vital, instilling pure God consciousness in America and everywhere. The cover of the latest issue of Back to Godhead, which Prabhupada liked, depicted a devotee singing Hare Krishna in front of a red, white, and blue bicentennial exhibit. The cover caption read, "Declaring our dependence on God." Prabhupada had complete confidence in the eventual victory of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Although now 80 years old, he was the leader, the strongest devotee. Wherever he traveled, he brought life and strength. And so he continued. New York City, July 9, 1976. Jayananda was driving the car. Tamal Krishna Goswami and Rameshwar Swami were also there. They had picked up Srila Prabhupada and Hari Shauri at LaGuardia Airport, and as they proceeded toward Manhattan, Prabhupada asked, Things are going on here nicely?" Tamal Krishna replied that everything had really just begun. "You will see that all of the work is just in progress," he said. "Yes," said Srila Prabhupada, "manage nicely. Krishna is giving us everything. There is no scarcity. If we simply, sincerely work, Krishna will give us intelligence. Everything. By His mercy, everything is available. That is Krishna. He can give you anything." As their car approached the colossal Brooklyn Bridge, Srila Prabhupada inquired, "That is Brooklyn Bridge, I think. Sometimes I was coming here and sitting down near the bridge." "Near the water?" asked Tamal Krishna. They were fascinated to hear of Srila Prabhupada's early activities alone in New York. "You were sitting near the water?" "Yes, that river," said Prabhupada, "because I was on that Bowery Street. It is not very far away. So I was walking there and sitting under that bridge and thinking when I shall return to India." He laughed. He asked about other places, almost like inquiring about old friends, the Fulton Street subway station and Chambers Street. Tamal Krishna told Prabhupada that the ISKCON Center was not far from the Empire State Building and that he would be able to get a nice view of it from his room on the 11th floor. "Our building," said Tamal Krishna, "is right in the midst of the theater, restaurant, and entertainment section of the city." "In New York," said Prabhupada, "I feel a little at home because first I came here. I was loitering on the street here and there. From 1965 September to July 1967, continuously I stayed in New York." Tamal Krishna Maharaj gave a class this morning, said Rameshwar Swami. "He was explaining that we cannot understand the good fortune of this city that you have come here." "Yes, when I decided that I shall go to a foreign country," said Prabhupada, "I never thought of going to London. I thought of coming here. Generally they go to London, but I thought, no, I shall go to New York." "Very progressive," Tamal Krishna commented. "I did not know," Prabhupada laughed. "It is Krishna's dictation. I could have gone. London was nearer, but I thought, no, I shall go to New York. Sometimes I was even dreaming that I had gone to New York." As they passed through various neighborhoods, Srila Prabhupada recalled the old days. He mentioned Dr. Mishra's yoga studio and his room at 172nd Street, where his tape recorder and typewriter had been stolen, the West End Superette, where he would buy fruit. "Sometimes I think I was coming to this part," said Prabhupada, looking out the window aimlessly. "Yes, sometimes walking on 2nd Avenue." Acknowledging his senior disciple who was steadily and silently driving the car, Prabhupada said, "Our Jayananda was driving a taxi and chanting Hare Krishna, and one day he brought me $5,000. It was given for the publishing of Bhagavad Gita, but I think Macmillan took it. Then you put him in charge to sell all the teachings of Lord Chaitanya," said Tamal Krishna. "I remember. Didn't sell too many books though," said Jayananda. Prabhupada laughed, while Jayananda remained silent, intent on the task of driving through the city. "I thought he was the best, most appropriate person to drive you," said Tamal Krishna. "He was chanting and driving," said Prabhupada. "Very good boy." As they weaved through Manhattan traffic, a taxi driver shouted at them. "What does he say?" asked Prabhupada. "He said, 'You have a nice car,'" said Tamal Krishna. "That's good. They like the car." Prabhupada laughed. "Ask him, why don't you come here? Why are you driving a taxi? Come join us." "This car is the Ford Company's version of a Cadillac," said Rameshwar. "They cannot understand because we say we are not after material opulence for ourselves. They cannot understand why we drive in these cars. They think that we unnecessarily criticize," said Prabhupada. "But we require everything. Just like a man, when he is alive, his decoration, his nice dress, everything is good. But if he is dead, then it is useless. Similarly, without spiritual consciousness, we are dead, because the body is dead. Only because the spirit soul is there, therefore it is moving. The important point is the spirit soul. So, if you are simply taking care of the body nicely, that means you are decorating the dead body. What is the value of it? Is it clear? The body is important because the soul is there. So long the life is there, If you decorate the body, everyone will appreciate. But if you decorate the dead body, everyone will say, "What a fool he is." Similarly, without spiritual knowledge, this dead civilization, simply on the bodily concept of life, it is ludicrous. That we have to condemn. Take Krishna consciousness, then everything has value. Just like 1, if there is 0, then it becomes 10. Add another 0 and it becomes 100. But without the 1, it is simply 0. It is only useless. That 1 is Krishna, said Tamal Krishna, and Krishna's representative, added Rameshwar. As they drove down 55th Street, the devotees pointed out to Prabhupada the ISKCON building with the words Hare Krishna written in gold letters down the side. A large yellow banner showing a devotee of Lord Chaitanya performing Sankirtan flew from the front of the building, and a stylish awning emblazoned Hare Krishna Center extended onto the sidewalk. At the side of Prabhupada's car, hundreds of devotees at the entrance began to cheer and chant his name. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's pause here. Yes, everything is in the name, like as Prabhupada says. And we see how nicely Prabhupada's disciples have understood the inner meanings. Right? So he's saying, Tamal Krishna Maharaj is saying that 1 is Krishna, and Rameshwar Maharaj is saying that, and it's also Krishna's representative. Right? So like that, yeah, Krishna's representative, Krishna comes in the form of Guru to teach us and take us back home. So they are non-different. So we should always give the same amount of respect to Guru, because Guru is not different from Krishna. And yeah, but the Guru, considering himself as a servant of Krishna, he passes on all respects to his predecessor, Guru Varga, and eventually goes all the way up to Krishna. So that is the process that we offer. Bhoga also, we take permission when we offer Arti, Bhoga, we offer it to our Guru, and then they offer it to their Guru and their Guru and their Guru, and that way, that's how it all goes back up to Lord Krishna and Radha. So that is the mood. And yeah, Prabhupada is again and again saying the same thing. Yeah, it's like he's remembering his golden days when he came to New York, and how he was in the first year while he was in New York. He was on the Bowery and under the Brooklyn Bridge, and he's remembering all those days as he's passing through. Yeah, the attraction of Maya is very strong. It's like last night, I had to go to meet one of my friends who was leaving the city and going to Austin. So I used to play cricket with him, and there were also some of my colleagues. And so I went. Internally, I didn't want to, but it was just like his name is Shiva, and he's a very nice, gentle guy. But yeah, he was moving, and then I thought, okay, let me go, and so I went. And here in Mason, there's a whatever it is, like these pubs, and where they have the bowlings and everything. But you could see literally people, like Prabhupada is saying here, people are rotting. They don't know where they are headed. They think this is enjoyment, this is bliss, and this is the joy. But ultimately they are just being dragged down. It was so like I was like, it's after a long time I went, and late at night, this was like around 8 o'clock. I went 8 to 10. I was there, and just seeing everybody, partying, drinking, and we were all outside. So I mean, of course, some of these guys do drink, so no offenses against them, but some of them were just, we were all outside, on the veranda, but I could see like the Americans and everybody else who was coming there, just, and there were a lot of families also, and everything, but they left around 9 o'clock. But everybody just enjoying, partying, thinking this is life, and this is. So I was just remembering this instruction as well. I was speaking today, that people are, and as he's seeing this taxi driver saying, "Why don't you come and join us?" Right? So like Prabhupada is so merciful for him. He is going out and sharing this with everybody around the world, even though he knows this is Maya is so strong in this day and age. It is very hard for people to follow. But again, there are a lot of sincere and seeker souls out there who are waiting. They just need a spark. So yeah, we should try to go out, and at least we can go out when we go chant in that atmosphere also, so that it somehow there is some positive spiritual vibration in that place, and it helps people reconnect. It is like like, again, we work in IT, so I was remembering, like, Prabhupada says that we have free will, right? So even though we surrender, we have the free will. And that's why Prabhupada is saying, ultimately it's just our free will and Krishna's sanction, both are needed, mercy is needed, because otherwise we may very freely, we can fall down also. So like in IT, we have these firewalls. We have firewalls to protect our enterprise data, our enterprise infrastructure from bad things coming into our system. Similarly, we have to have a firewall of devotional service, firewall of following the instructions of acharyas to protect us, because otherwise we can fall down anytime with all this filthy waste that is outside. It can easily penetrate. And so we need to have a strong firewall to protect ourselves from falling down because of our free will that we all have. So yeah, we have to protect ourselves. So that's why when we do by associating with Prabhupada's instructions, like Prabhupada is saying, this lame man and blind man, alone they are of no use. But when they come together in the association is very important. That's why everything starts with association. Associate with pure saintly devotees, because once we start hearing from them, then with Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, the association helps us do the Bhajana Kriya. When we again sincerely start doing Bhajana Kriya, then the Anartha Nivritti start to happen. But again, Anartha Nivritti is very, very long. Sometimes it may take us many lifetimes. But like Prabhupada said yesterday, if one is sincere, then everything can happen even in one generation. We don't have to wait for multiple generations. So again, Prabhupada has said it, so it is possible, because when pure devotee says something, Krishna puts all his energies to make that happen. So we just have to have trust, faith, follow Prabhupada. And that's why he has given us this process that when we all come together, whether we eat this japa, whether we eat kirtan, whether we come to the center every Saturday, we associate with each other. Together, if we do our sadhana, then we are strong. Because alone, it's very easy for Maya to attack us. So if we want to chant alone in the morning, our mind will say, "Oh, today it's okay. It's weekend, it's Sunday. Let's just relax." Right? But when we come together, then we have association, and that association makes us strong. Every Saturday, we can easily go to a party, but when we have a center that Prabhupada has given us so nicely, we come to the center, all of us together, then that gives us the rechargement for the whole week. So like that association is so important. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else would like to share anything that you liked, loved from today's reading?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Thank you for
Dandavat
your
Pranam.
reading. I really liked, the Sthane Sthita Shruti Gata, Hanuman Manokar. So this is, I think, Brahmaji speaking this verse. And this was one of my questions early on, that, sannyas ashram is a better stage to attain Krishna Bhakti. Because in Grahastha ashram we have much more material duties, and that is what I felt. But when I came across this verse, that no matter where you are, which position you are, you can attain the same destination as somebody who's a sannyasi. That was very, very nice to read and very relieving. That if we make our sincere efforts, even in the Grahastha ashram, we do not have to change our ashram. We can stay in here, especially as as women disciples. I feel that is very reassuring. So I just wanted to share that. This was one of my questions, and one day I came across this verse, and Krishna gives answers. So it was. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Krishna has given us here a wonderful family, kids, and you're all practicing Krishna consciousness. So as grihasthas, we can make progress. And like Prabhupada, I think yesterday, a couple of days ago, he was giving the example of all the grihastha disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right, and associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who are in grihasthashram. So he says, it doesn't really matter. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had so much of love for all his Grihastha associates. Everybody was Grihastha. So, and actually, if we see Grihastha ashram is very important, because if you see all the other ashrams are dependent on Grihastha ashram, like brahmachari kids, the kids or those who are young, they are dependent on Grihastha ashram because they don't earn anything. Same thing, sannyasis, they're renounced, they don't earn anything. Right? Vanaprasthas are retired, so they don't earn anything. Grihasthas are the only one, who can help with Lakshmi and Lakshmi Devi, that they provide, sustains the other ashrams. So in that sense, also, it is very, very important that, Grihastha ashram is very important to sustain the other ashrams. And again, the word ashram itself means it is an ashram. So we are ashrit of the Lord through staying in those ashrams. So as long as we are staying in any of those ashrams, yeah. But yeah, Prabhupada is saying here that sannyas is very difficult in this day and age. But of course, the devotees of the Lord are more merciful. Like Prabhupada was so merciful that he's saying, like his god brothers were criticizing him that he was going and giving brahmachari and making people brahmachari and sannyasis in West. Still, he said, I came because I wanted to expand Krishna consciousness. So like that, his disciples are even more merciful. Prabhupada said sannyas is difficult, but his disciples are giving sannyas and just expanding the movement like that. That is the main spirit Prabhupada wanted. He said rightly, just expand unlimitedly. So that is what they're trying to do. The devotees are more merciful than the Lord. So we see again by Prabhupada and Prabhupada's disciples examples. So they are more and more sannyasis, and more preaching is happening, and the movement is growing by leaps and bounds every year, every decade.
Yes, Prabhu, we are zeros, and if we stay with the ones, Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, then we can become of some worth. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा. एक कृष्ण नाम, बस एक कृष्ण नाम लगाना है, एक डिवोटी को पकड़ना है आगे. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything? Sangeeta Mataji Pravakar, Prabhu, where are you from? I know I have not spoken. Maybe today we will meet. You have been into Krishna consciousness before, Mataji, Prabhuji? Before you came to Cincinnati?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we came 2 months before, Prabhuji.
Sorry, your voice is not clear.
In the center.
Yeah, you came.
We came 2 months before to the
Did you come to Krishna consciousness before Cincinnati, or?
Yes.
Okay, so you have been practicing for some time. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very inspired by Mataji. She's joining every day, even before 4:30 she's there. So thank you for joining every morning and chanting with us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you today at the center.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, so I think we'll pause here for today. Thank you so much for your kind association with Srila Prabhupada through Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnavind ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Pawan Prabhuji, Ritesh Prabhu, thank you so much for your
Hare
wonderful.
Krishna, Prabhuji. That's a
Hare Krishna.
pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanyavad.
Hare Guru Prabhu. Hare Krishna.